Tamika, is every day a writing day for you?
Actually, no. It's funny because most writers will say you have to write every day, you have to write every day. And for a time I used to do that, but it was journal writing, everyday journal writing, everyday journal writing. And then I would be inspired and I'd write a project, a screenplay, a poem, whatever it is. But I came to a place where there were so many other things going on. I knew I had to experience life. And journaling became a different thing. It was more like where I would just vent. And I got to a really peaceful place in my life where I didn't want to vent in my journal anymore. So I stopped writing in my journal, which when I think about it sometimes and I look at my journal, I go, well, I kind of regret doing that because there was also kernels of just what was happening in my life, you know, sort of a chronicling of my life. But I really admire writers who literally commit to write every day. If I were to give someone advice, I would definitely tell them to do that. But I also know that everybody has a different process. And when I'm inspired, literally, it just all comes out. So like even my first screenplay, I thought about it for 2 or 3 months, and then literally I wrote it in like 3 weeks. So when that happens, when I'm inspired like that, and I've been literally thinking about a project and sort of letting it marinate, it just all comes out. So I'd say everybody has a different process, but I would probably have a lot more product if I just committed to write something every day. It could be a poem, it could be anything. I think that's just really wonderful to do, but I have so many different interests that writing is one of them. So, yeah.
So when you do write, what does a writing day look like?
I'd say in my most prolific time, a writing day is literally getting up in a very disciplined way and writing for 4 or 5 hours or more straight. I would get up and consistently go to coffee shops and maybe show up around 10 or 11 a.m. and I'd start writing. I'd mess around on Facebook or whatever, and then after I'd procrastinated for 30 or 40 minutes, I'd be like, okay, you got to get to it now. And so then I would write for about 4 or 5, 6 hours, maybe take a break, have some lunch, and then I'd write again until like late in the evening, and then I'd go to the gym, go home, and do it all over again. And there were like very specific coffee houses around LA, and there would just be the usual suspects. So you'd see other writers, screenwriters, you'd also see like maybe students, but mostly after a while you'd see the same kind of screenwriters. There was one guy who was a storyboard artist, and he was getting into the whole digital thing, and so he would be there every night doing his storyboard art digitally or whatever, and we'd all know each other. So we'd have to sometimes find different coffee shops because it would become slightly more social. It's like, okay, I don't want anyone to talk to me right now because I really just want to focus.
And you weren't distracted? Because I just tried to go to a coffee shop to try this whole and couldn't do it. There was no way. There were too many things I was watching.
Well, I wasn't distracted because I get distracted at home because there's too many things that I can do at home. If I'm in an environment where everyone's really just doing their work and writing, it's hard for me to be distracted. I'd say the thing that would sometimes distract me is if they were playing 80s music all the time. Like I'd be like, okay, can they really just finish with this? Because I'm gonna sing to every song. I can't do this. Please just stop playing all the 80s. I'm like, I love karaoke, so I'd be like, okay, Centerfold, my blood runs. I'd be like, okay, oh my God, now they're playing Pat Benatar. Oh my God, now they're playing, and I would sing to all of them. So I was like, no, I need you guys to finish that, or I'd put in my earphones and zone out on some classical music or something that was more like background music, as opposed to something that I would literally want to like sing or move to.
So it sounds like the energy of being out really kind of invigorates you.
It does, it does. And I will say there is a collective consciousness of work focus. So if you have 4 or 5 people who are really writing in an environment and they're screenwriters and that that's what they're doing, you're gonna kind of feel compelled, I feel, or at least I did, I felt compelled to really write. And I'd say, okay, you need to do at least 10 pages a day, And 10 pages seems like a lot, but I would take the pressure off of myself by saying, they can suck, but you still need to do 10 pages a day. Yeah.
Now, is a lot of this journaling sort of like artist pages, sort of the artist way, where you're just like getting out all this stuff that's swirling in your head?
I would say it is kind of stream of consciousness, maybe more so stream of consciousness for the journaling. When I was going to the coffee shops, I wouldn't journal, I would just do my screenwriting work. So that's when I was saying I would do 10 pages a day. When I'm journaling, it's just stream of consciousness, and now I do it at the end of the year. So I guess some people would consider boring process is I will do some prayer and meditation or whatever, and I will literally write for like a day and a half. So I'll write like 30 or 40 stream of consciousness pages about everything that happened that impacted me during the year. So it's literally like a 30, 40 page journal that happens over the course of a day and a half.
And then do you burn it? Do you keep it? I know you had your journal taken, and are there any still feelings about that, like someone might read this? Because you talked about that.
No. The only time I've ever burned my journal was when I had a boyfriend who read it, and I was just being dramatic. And I was like, "You read it, now I have to burn it." It doesn't mean anything.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
But other than that,
No, okay. It's just for theatrics.
Yeah. Exactly.